Hey guys, welcome to your USA, where the politicians make stuff up and the Constitution doesn't matter. Until now. Welcome back to another episode of Knowing Your Constitution on your USA. We're going to start in on the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments. I'm going to expand on some of these. Some of them are pretty straightforward. Let's get into it. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, so Amendment 1. You would think that sounds pretty simple, but we have a problem with it. Congress shall not make any law respecting an establishment of religion. It's a famous phrase, separation of church and state, that means something different than what a lot of people think it means. Most people think it means, well, you can't bring your religious views into politics. You most certainly can. That's freedom of religion. You can do that. However, the laws you pass cannot be based on your religion. So the government's not allowed to come up with a religion. That was one of the reasons why we had the Revolutionary War in the first place, is that the king wanted us to follow his version of Christianity, and oftentimes his version resulted in some form of higher taxes, basically putting more money in his pocket. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Pretty simple. You cannot take away firearms of legal, law-abiding citizens. Period. Not allowed to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they are. You are not allowed to take away guns from legal, law-abiding citizens. It says shall not be infringed. The whole purpose of that is so that we can defend ourselves against the government in case it becomes tyrannical. That's the whole reason why they put that in here. The only reason why they put that in here. You know, some people think the Revolutionary War was just fought over taxation without representation. That was one issue. Another issue is guns, disarmament, things of that nature are always at the forefront of a government takeover. We don't want that to happen here. Amendment 3. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Unless the owner of the house consents to the soldier being there, he's not allowed to be there. Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The government has to be able to prove that the place in which they're searching had something happen there in order to search for it. They have to have probable cause to search it. Police can't just come knock on your door and walk through it without that. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or other infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb. Double jeopardy, meaning if you're acquitted of one crime, you cannot be tried for that same crime again. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. You're not going to say anything self-incriminating. That's why you hear so many people, when they're being put on trial, say, I plead the fifth, meaning I've got nothing to say. I'm not going to incriminate myself in this case. Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So no one can just sell your land. No one can take your things from you. You can't be deprived of any of this stuff without due process of law. You have to have been tried and convicted for any of that to happen. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. The Sixth Amendment says no one can be forced to just sit there alone and by themselves. They have the abilities to defend themselves. Amendment 7. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment 7. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So basically, the bail and fines and criminal punishments have to be proportionate to the crime. Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. This goes back to Article 1, Section 8, where it talks about the powers of the government and what they are allowed to be. If it's not in that list of Article 1, Section 8, then the federal government has no right to make the states do it. The states have their own rights. That's what makes our government not tyrannical. That was the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. They're pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. They're not as lengthy as the articles because the articles are more of the framework of our government and how it's supposed to work. The amendments are kind of just not necessarily afterthoughts, but improvements and what can be done to improve the Constitution to help everybody in the nation stay safe. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. We're going to go through the rest of the amendments, and that will wrap up the Knowing Our Constitution series, and then we're going to start diving into how we can apply the Constitution to our politicians today to hold them accountable for everything. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button down below, and if you didn't, make sure you leave some comments. We'll have some discussion about it. Until the next episode, remember, it's your USA. Let's know our rights.